hot take, but hear me out. Out of all the trips I've taken the last few years, there's one style of travel that stands out. Not because it's the most intense or takes you to the most breathtaking places, but because it teaches you how to travel. Lessons and practices that will make any trip far more rewarding. I want to tell you about the best way to travel: the winter storm road trip. Alright, before we get too deep into the snow, I want to give a quick thank you to the sponsor of this video, which is my good friends over at Artlist. Every video I make, I'm looking for different music. For this one, I wanted to capture that magical, calming feeling of fresh snow. I want you to feel like you're inside of a snow globe. So I went on Artlist, searched for tracks in an ambient genre with a peaceful mood, and bam, literally the 5th track was perfect for the intro. But it's not just about music, because they've recently announced Artlist Max, which is their all-in-one bundle for creators. It includes music, sound effects, footage, templates, plugins, even software. That software is FX Home, and if you've been watching this channel for a really long time, you'll remember I used FX Home software for everything for years, and I still use their plugins today. Now, you might not need all of that, so there are a variety of different plans. You can get just the music and sound effects, just the footage and templates, or everything together with Artlist Max. For YouTube, for Instagram, for commercial work, Artlist always has me covered. And the fact that they're now offering all of this together, making these high-end tools even more affordable and accessible for creators, it's exciting. There's a link in the description of this video. Go start a free trial, and when you realize it's meant to be, you can use that same link to sign up and get an additional 2 months completely free. Huge thanks again to Artlist for sponsoring this video and enabling me to do what I love and keep making these videos. Alright, let's start with lesson 1. You don't get to decide when and where to go. Out here in North Carolina, it only snows a few times each winter. If you want to make the most of it, you have to drop everything and chase it. You really can't count on the forecast for snow until the day before, and even then it can change. Winter storms can appear out of nowhere, and they're highly localized, dependent on location and elevation. You don't get the luxury of planning out every detail. The weather calls the shots. You only get to decide whether or not to participate. Meaningful travel often relies on some degree of adaptability. If you're willing to follow the location's lead, you might experience a more beautiful side of it. A side less traveled, and a side you didn't expect. Good morning from the first little snow day of the year here in the Blue Ridge, which is odd because it's mid-January. Usually it's snowed like at least once, maybe twice, maybe even 3 times by now, but I'll take what I can get. I'm capturing it not in the most glamorous way possible, just pulled over by the highway here, but making the most of it. Flying by the seat of my pants, but that's kind of the beauty of winter shooting, is that you have to, and it makes you get used to it. Alright, lesson 2. Look at more than just the most dramatic view. Snow encourages you to look at locations differently. A scene that you walk or drive past every day can become breathtaking with a coat of snow on it. Simple roads, houses, and trees become subjects that I just can't take my eyes off of. A beautiful experience or image isn't just the result of going to the best spot. It's the result of multiple factors coming together. A great location is part of it, but also the right weather, the right angle, hell, being in the right mood. The snow teaches you not to fixate solely on the tallest building or the biggest view, but to turn some attention to the details and everyday scenes. because more often than not, those capture the authentic identity of a location.
And finally, lesson 3. You have to work for results. For the most part, winter travel is difficult and uncomfortable. Driving in the snow can be sketchy. Navigating road and trail closures is frustrating. Hiking in deep snow is strenuous. It's cold, it's wet, it's tough. But when it pays off, all of the headache spent getting there makes the view that much more worthwhile. Meaningful travel isn't all glamorous. If you want to reach the best locations, particularly those that most other visitors aren't reaching, you have to do more research, drive to more remote areas, hike further, and put up with harsher conditions. And that isn't a bad thing. Those extra miles will be stamped into your memory. When you look back on a trip, that's what you'll be thinking of most fondly. Now, I know that not everyone lives in a place where it snows. This isn't accessible to everyone, but there's probably an equivalent. A spontaneous trip nearby that forces you to let the circumstances take the lead, to see your surroundings differently, and to work for the results. So, what's that for you?